Over the weekend, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe said that facial recognition software has become so good that if you and I, as householders, provide the police with an image of a burglar's face, they can run it through the system and potentially find the culprit. Now, the very notion of encouraging the existence of even more CCTV cameras in a country with almost 6 million of the things already has been condemned by privacy groups. One of them, Big Brother Watch, says the idea of everyone kitting up their homes with more cameras is awful. It's Orwellian. Maybe you're ahead of the curve and you've got one of these for good security reasons. I would like you to tell us what they are. Is your house a fortress protected by high-tech, whizzy, all-singing, all-dancing CCTV get-ups? We'd like to know. Perhaps you've even tracked a burglar, a criminal, thanks to your cameras. But you may be fed up of being watched through a lens wherever you tread. Maybe you live next door to that person with the overbearing CCTV habit. Do you feel like you're being spied on? And every time you step into the garden with a cup of tea, have you been caught on a camera? If your friend invited you round and filmed you, would you want to know? Now, Emma Carr is already frothing at the mouth, I think. She's director of Big Brother Watch. Hello, Emma. Are you frothing?
I'm not quite frothing,
All right.
no.
And Alfie Moore is a sergeant with Humberside Police who's currently on a career break. Hello, Alfie.
Hello, Paddy.
Alfie, should I be installing CCTV in my home?
Yes, I would say yes if you want to. Certainly it would be helpful for the police if you gathered evidence and you'd been the victim of a crime and you can assist that investigation and there'd be a more realistic chance of a conviction and potentially the return of some of your property,
so
or all of it.
Jeremy's just got his machine working again. He's given me his smartphone. And Jeremy, I'm looking here, it's the inside of your office.
It is. And then also what I can do is just by swiping the screen.
Oh, swipe the screen.
The camera, just wait for a second and the camera will move.
Right, I see.
You can also listen and you can talk back to the room and tell them that you've called the police, get out the house.
Or
whatever.
you there, Jeremy's secretary, we're watching you.
Exactly.
And stop making that noodle. Look, Emma Carr, is this a good idea?
Well, I think we've hit the nail on the head really here in saying if you want to bring this into your home, if you want to have CCTV on your property, then people are already doing this. But this is bringing big problems in itself. I mean, we've had complaints from people who have said their neighbours have put up CCTV on their property. It doesn't just look on their property, it looks at their neighbours as well. And they don't really know who to turn to complain about it. The Information Commissioner says it's a harassment issue, so they should go to the police. The police say it's a data protection issue, so they should go to the Information Commissioner's office.
The technology in my life is cantering ahead.
Absolutely.
So if you invite me round to yours for a bit of cake and you've got a camera in there, do you think you should tell me that you're filming me in your home?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we need to cast our minds back just before Christmas. You'll probably remember there was a big story about webcams being hacked into by a Russian guy who put all of the footage live streaming it on the internet. And he was basically saying people are bringing all of these cameras into their homes, don't really understand how it's working. And as it's just been said, you can look at it on your app, on your phone, you can see what's going on in your house. But if you can do that, then the chances are that a lot of other people can as well, because you haven't changed the passwords, you don't know about encryption, you don't know how the technology works. So we have to take this in baby stages if we're going to start encouraging people to bring extra surveillance into their homes. But I think we also need to talk about, is it actually going to keep us safer? Is it really going to keep our homes safer? Because actually the evidence around CCTV suggests that's just simply not the case.
Well, Alfie is a sergeant. Alfie, I think in your experience, you must have cracked cases with CCTV.
Yeah, my experience is it does act as a deterrent. And if I could give an example, and I'm going back maybe about 4 years here when the technology was just sort of coming in, really, and that was a guy who had a camera installed in his shed in Scunthorpe, and he received activation. I was alerted of activation while he was on a holiday in Spain with his family, and he looked at his laptop and he actually saw his shed being burgled at real time on his laptop. The offenders were stealing two bicycles from his shed, and he contacted the police and said, I'm being burgled now. I'm in Spain. I'm being burgled in Scunthorpe. and he got his property recovered.
I mean,
so
that would make you feel.
There are success stories.
That would make you feel great, isn't it? And also, Emma, in that case, there isn't any privacy issue. It's in a shed. There's a couple of pot plants and an old fork, and that would make you feel great, even though you don't like all these cameras. If you were on the Algarve and someone was nicking your collapsible bike, Emma, you'd be over the moon if I caught them with my app.
Look, I think people make a judgment call about their own property in terms of how they want to make it secure. Some people are already bringing in CCTV cameras. We lock our front doors. Some people have burglar alarms. We make the judgment call for ourselves.
All right, but just answer my question. Yeah. Would you be pleased personally if I said, don't worry, you left your bike in my shed, Emma. I've got them.
Well, I think if I trusted you and I knew that that's only it was going to be used for, then yes. But what I object to is the suggestion from the police that there should somehow be this mandated CCTV brought in to people's homes. I think people make a judgment call for themselves about whether they want to put extra surveillance on their property, and it shouldn't be for the police, it shouldn't be for the state to decide where that CCTV should be on our own properties.
Alfie?
I agree with that. Of course, it's about personal choice, and I think this revolves on a story from Bernard Hogan Howe, who said, "Well, get better quality stuff, aim it at people's faces, and we'll get better results." Of course, it should be a personal choice, and I'm sure legislation will follow, because if it's used in a corporate environment by local authorities, the councils and the police, very strict regulations about
Alfie,
how we direct this surveillance.
Thanks a lot. I'm just going
to come in as well.
I'm going to interrupting because your line's gone a bit dodgy, but not your message. We've got your message. Alfie Moore, Sergeant with Humberside Police, currently on a career break. Thank you very much indeed.